Hello, everyone. I'm wishing you health and calm during these troubled times. Many of us are in some sort of stay home, stay safe type of situation right now. Those that live alone are even more isolated. As riders, we find it extremely difficult to not spend time with our horses and ride them. Many barns have had to close their doors, making it where owners can't even see their horses. Others have been able to ride, but can't work with their trainers due to social distancing issues. The following video includes excerpts from a forum I presented a little over a year ago. The focus is riding dressage tests, the fundamentals, places where people easily go wrong, easy ways to improve upon your test, common mistakes, etc. When at a loss, I have always turned to education to help me learn more, gain more knowledge. For knowledge is strength, it's power. I hope you will find this highlight video a helpful tool to you in improving upon your dressage during this time at home. This abstract of the full videos shows some of the featured moments. For all of the videos, you can go on YouTube, look for them by level. I hope that this helps you in your pursuit of excellence for your dressage. Even if you've watched them before, maybe they can give you a new tool, a new idea, your second time through. Stay well, everyone. Look forward. It's not just a concept for dressage. It's the best perspective in life. Thank you. You guys are very lucky this morning. You're seeing high quality training level rides. Not only because of the quality of the horse, it's because of the quality of the riding in all three rides. That's what I'm happy about, okay? And the three horses have very different gaits from each other, but all three horses had three very correct gaits. Some have a little bit more fancy trot, one has a little bit fancier canter, that kind of thing, but all three of them have very correct gaits. That's way more important than fancy, okay? They have to have correct gaits. The fancy doesn't really get that much extra credit. The first 10 I ever gave as a judge was at a combined training horse show. And this little tiny kid on this little tiny pony came in, and it was like a gymnast. She stuck that landing perfectly and stood there perfectly, and I could only see 2 ears and 2 legs. And she saluted, and then she straight, everything's perfectly. I was like, whew. And I hadn't had my judge's license for very long, but I thought, I couldn't think of anything to say. So I was in the middle of nowhere, Texas, so I thought nobody will know if I'm wrong. So I gave her a 10. Last halt, gave her another 10. They were like over the top. 6 months later, I'm at a show talking with Bill Salentius, and I said, oh, I gave a 10. I was so excited. And he goes, was it in Texas? And I said, yes. He goes, was it a little girl on a pony? And I said, yes. And he goes, me too. And he said, I asked her how often she practices her halts. She said, my trainer makes me do 40 halts a day. So you don't forget the quote-unquote easy things. You have to train those too, okay? The halt is not easy for this horse. It's actually difficult for this horse. So she has to work on that a bit more, but not shove it down the horse's throat, okay? I'd rather she keep letting, okay, now I'm giving you a tactics and advice. If she gets crooked, so you get a 6. You got enough 8s in the rest of the test, and you know what I mean? So she's better off not to force it upon the horse, because then the horse isn't going to want to stand still. The horse is going to be nervous about the halt. So she's better to go, you know what, they're not straight yet, but oh well, and gradually work on it. 7 is not a good score. A 7 is a fairly good score. I've taken 30% away from your ultimate score. Okay, and there's a lot more to a halt than it being perfectly from trot to halt. I want the horse to stand like this.
Horse is totally relaxed. It's totally immobile, other than chewing on the bit, but that we're not asking it to do. Okay? This is my most important issue with the halt, is that the horse stops, stands immobile, and is happy. So I thought she handled the tension really well. She got doing my quick math, I would say about a 64. And with as scared as he was, it could have been a disaster. If she had reacted to things, gotten tight, pulled on the reins, stuff like that, then she would have made him afraid of this white box. Okay, this horse is young. He may never have been in an arena like this before, that kind of thing. So she ends on another horse that ends with, that's as important to them as them showing you guys the tests. So I would be happy as a judge. I'm sorry it wasn't a better ride, but I would be very happy with the way she rode, and I would bet money that when she came back to do her second ride, the horse would be better. But we do try really hard to think of it from a standpoint, does it make sense to the horse in their training? Because that's the most important piece, is that it helps the training. It's not just to say, I get the blue ribbon. And for those of you who don't ever read these pieces of paper, these are your tests, okay? These are your dressage tests. Most people only look at the numbers, maybe look at my comments. Look back here, unfortunately in FEI, we no longer have collectives. It's unfortunate, but it's the world we live in. How many of you know that there's a column that's called directives? Do any of you ever read that column? There's a lot of information in there, okay? It tells you what I want to see. How many of you see this paragraph at the top of the page? It's called the purpose. How many of you ever read it? Can someone tell me the purpose of second level without looking at it? Don't look at it. What's changed from first level to second level? L grad? Anybody? From first level to second level? I think I'll put my glasses on because I'm pretty sure there's some changes. To confirm that the horse demonstrates correct basics and having achieved the thrust required in first level, now accepts more weight on the hindquarters. Collection. Doesn't mean the horse gets short and slow, okay? Moves with an uphill tendency, especially in the medium gaits, and is reliably on the bit. A greater degree of straightness, bending, suppleness, throughness, balance, and self-carriage is required than at first level. You need to know what it is you're trying to do, okay? People read Monopoly rules before they play Monopoly, but nobody will read the dressage rules. And the only person you're hurting is you. It's a really good textbook. There's more in there than what bridle you can use and what color coat you can have on. It tells you what a medium walk is. It tells you what a medium trot is. What's the difference between a turn on the haunches and a walk pirouette? So this is my horse. He's really handsome, isn't he? Okay, and this is the horse's tail where my hand is. This is the horse's head. Let's see if I can do this and hold the mic at the same time. So at training level, my horse might look like this or maybe even a little bit like this, and that's totally acceptable, okay? When I go to do collection in second level, it is not bringing their head up like this and making it go, okay? It's what we see a lot, okay? This is called absolute elevation. This is where the horse looks for the mountain lion, okay? They're not very relaxed when they're looking for the mountain lion, are they? Okay, can they be through when they're like this? No, they can't. They cannot use their back, okay? But people say, yeah, but it says that the horse's frame should get shorter. Horse's frame got shorter, right? Okay, the horse's frame gets shorter because I shift the weight back to the butt. So the distance from the horse's tail to its ears is still the same. Same horse, same distance, okay? But the distance across the ground, this distance, gets shorter. So that's what makes their frame get shorter if you ride correct collection, Okay? So when I teach, I don't even use the word collection. Do you use the word collection when you teach? I don't at all. I hate it. Because all it does is make people slam the front door shut and slow them down, and you got to show me that you can walk and you can take your time and the horse is on your aids. For me, if there's not at least 3 steps, you're not there. Yep. I would say, ideal, there in the FEI there is a number, it's 3 to 5. In the USCF we don't have a number, but 3 to 5 is kind of the balanced range, okay? I can live with 7 and maybe give it a 7 for a score depending on the quality of the transitions and the quality of the walk, because I still took 30% off. But usually if they're taking 7, 8, 9 steps, there's something wrong that's making them have to walk that long. So it usually doesn't end up being, and I'll say slow to depart, slow to pick up new lead. Now, if they feel that their horse is going to pick up the wrong lead and they're taking their time to fix that, they're smart. Because if they pick up the wrong lead, it's a 4 or less, depending on what else happens. And if they take their time and have too many steps, I can still probably give a 6. What I want to see is that when something goes wrong, that there's training involved to fix it, not Hail Marys. And not aggression on the rider's part. That makes me really cranky, and it makes most judges cranky. Don't get mad at your horse when something goes wrong. It may have been your fault and you just don't even know it. Okay? Look up, look through the windshield, not at the dashboard, right? Cadence is kind of the float that comes in the gait from the suspension. There has to be suspension for cadence. Passage has a lot of cadence. Is a passage trot good cadence? No, okay? Because they're not going forward if they get passage in the trot. They're coming up off the ground and staying there. They're not going in a good passage. They come up off the ground and they move forward as they're in the air, okay? So it's the float that occurs from the suspension. I don't have a good, I'll have to work on that though. Rhythm is the beat of the gait. Walk is 4 beats, trot is 2 beats, canter is 3 beats. That's what the rhythm is. You'll hear the Europeans say the rhythm's too quick. That's because of translation. Okay? But they're talking about tempo, but you'll hear Europeans say that. But it's because of translation issues. It's not because they're wrong, okay? But if you're here in this country and you're talking about rhythm, you are only talking about the beat of the gait and the even and levelness of the gait. The horse should have the bend based upon the degree of the half pass. They should look at the destination, okay? So if I'm doing a half pass to X and I point my horse's neck at B, then the horse is overbent in the neck. Okay?
Like that?
Yeah. Okay? So it should have the bend should be relative to the degree of the half pass. So, and she's so used to doing the Grand Prix, and he is too. He went, oh, we're doing the half pass. Okay, here we go. Okay? So it's a little bit, he was trying a little too hard because he knows his job. All right? But riders, bend is highly overrated right now. We either get overbent in the neck or we get no bend. The bend is supposed to be in the rib cage, okay? The whole purpose of the bend is for them to move this out of the way so this can come under. If there is no bend, the inside hind, the barrel's in the way. Okay, that was good, huh? Very well done. Super balance, 10. You have to just go for it as a judge. You really do, especially once you get into as an FEI judge. If you don't, you're going to blow it. If you're getting goosebumps and you can't, the first one, what could I tell her could have been different? Anybody see anything they would have liked to have seen better in that first pirouette? Anything. Then how can I say and 10's only excellent? It's not perfect. So if I can't say, oh, you need a little bit more bend, or man, the horse sat down like there's no tomorrow, right? And the balance and the activity behind the hind legs had like this much separation. I mean, it's like, and fourth level, good heavens. So, I mean, I had to, you have to reward that. And it's not, for those of you who are the L people, if you're still here, that's not easy to learn to do. Usually when we begin our judging career where our scores are too low. Because A, you haven't seen the really good stuff, and B, you're afraid to go up. But to be honest with you, at this stage of my career, I'd rather be too high than too low. Not Santa Claus, but if I screw up, I hope it's because I gave too high of a score versus, I will not sleep when afterwards, I should have given it, I really beat myself up for that because I feel like I cheated the rider then. Will you take a sugar now? Aw.
Okay.
Good. She said she gave me a 10. I like her. No, but you see why you have to not, 8 is not the goal. 7 is not the goal. The goal is 10. I was there when Charlotte Dugeron broke the world record. It was a judges forum. There were like 65 of us there, and every single one of us was in tears because it was over the top. It was unbelievable. So, okay, thank you.